So we're ready? Go live? Okay, great. So we're live now. Nityananda. We're already live on Facebook. So Nityananda, welcome back to another session of the Bhagavad Gita Decoded reading. And because last week we had a break, we had this puja, Sarveshwara puja. So because it's Amavasya, so today is a continuation where we left off from chapter 2. So we're going to do part 2 now on chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a very, very important chapter. So with that, let's take a few minutes to center ourselves to the space of now in the listening. So sit with the back straight, align the head, neck and spine in one straight line. Bring awareness to the body and bring awareness to your breathing. Inhale very slowly and deeply. At the end of inhalation, enter into a pause, a gap. Then exhale slowly and completely. And then the next gap. Continue to breathe in and out with awareness of the two gaps. Slow down your breathing and thoughts per second. Notice how your mind become clearer and you're in the space of listening, falling into the restful awareness. As you center your awareness on the breath, in the space of authentic listening, Shravana, let's invoke Swamiji, followed by 3 times Mahavakya. Join the palms together in Amajali Mudra. So take a deep breath. Nityanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamutin Vanvatitam Gaganashatrisham Tattvamasiya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Savadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarihitam Sadguruntam Namami. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. So let's bow down to Bhagavan, our beloved Guru, and also Sri Krishna to reveal the deeper truth in the chapter 2, part 2 of the Sankhya Yoga. With that, let's show the slide. Wait for Ma Bhakti's Rukmini to help us. Okay, great. It's coming up. So, Sankhya Yoga is a chapter 2. We're entering into the part 2. Let's look at the outline for today. So we're going to do a quick recap of part 1, which is from verse 1 to 26, a quick summary. Then today we're going to do 27 to verse 48. And next week we'll conclude Sankhya Yoga. So in this chapter, Krishna gives Arjuna the definition of yoga. He teaches the wisdom of yoga to Arjuna. Because first chapter he was in such a dilemma, he was in a, such a powerless state. So in chapter 2, when he opens the truth, he gives the science of yoga, the wisdom of yoga to Arjuna. So we're going to understand this in today's lesson. because last week was mainly talking about, how can you behave like this and all these kind of things. So today is the true knowledge transmission. Then we're going to contemplate for a while about what he reviewed today. Then we can have Q&A if there is. So now let's do a recap. No, before that we need to do the mantra invoking Sri Krishna. Okay, ready? So now let's pray to Bhagavan Sri Krishna and invoke him.
Devaki Parama Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramadhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru.
So the meaning of this mantra is, I salute unto you, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Guru, Master of the world, Son of Vasudeva, Supreme Priest of Devaki, Destroyer of Kamsa and Charuna. So this is the invocation. Next, we're going to do the mantra to invoke the sacred knowledge of this book, Bhagavad Gita.
Om Parthaya Pratibodhita Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Puranam Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Pratavarshini Bhagavatim Ashtadasadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini.
So the meaning of this mantra is, Om, I meditate upon you, Bhagavad Gita, the affectionate Divine Mother, showering the nectar of Advaita, non-duality, and destroying rebirth, incorporated into the mist of Mahabharata, of 18 chapters by sage Vyasa, and the author of the Puranas, and imparted to Arjuna by Bhagavan Narayana himself. Okay, so that is the mantra. So now let's do a quick recap. So if you remember what we did 2 weeks ago, so Arjuna is concerned about the death of his kinsmen, right? His teachers, his relatives, and all that, the elders, arises out of his root pattern of fear and insecurity about his own death and confusion. So now, the moment Krishna opened his mouth, because in chapter 2, he finally spoke for the first time after listening to Arjuna's, whatever he wants to say, right? He provided a listening to Arjuna. So the first truth is Sankhya Yogah. This is the first chapter where he gave the direct truth to Arjuna, of which Krishna is a great follower, okay? Sankhya Yoga. It is important to understand the rules of existence in this chapter. Next slide. So it is here that we enter into the real Gita itself, because till the Guru speaks, first chapter was just human being talking only. So now the divine has spoken. It is from here that Bhagavan or God Narayana starts speaking and singing the Gita Upanishad, right? Which is, into the listening of Arjuna, Nara Arjuna, which is, and through Arjuna into the listening of the whole of humanity, because we represent the Arjuna. We can all relate the powerless and the fear, the struggle that Arjuna is talking, because he didn't know the truth. So we're also vibrating the same kind of patterns and fear as Arjuna. Okay, so Bhagavan Krishna says, oh my dear Arjuna, how have you acquired these impurities? You've forgotten his true nature, so he's, accumulating all these patterns and all that in completion, and that's why he called it impurities. They do not at all befit a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planes, but to infamy, which is being infamous, right? That means your reputation is going to be destroyed as Kshatriya, as a warrior of the clan of the kingdom. So he was just telling, how can you do this? Akiti Karam Arjuna, say. Okay, so this is what Bhagavan Sri Krishna basically tell him. So, and then remember in chapter 2, Krishna in verse 23, which is the essence of what he spoke, he said, weapons do not cleave, nor fire burns the Atman. That means your soul can never be destroyed by weapons nor fire. Water do not wet, your soul, and wind does not dry it. So that means you're untouched by any of these things in the external world. When he talks about the basic truth of life and spirituality, it is Shastra. Shastra is the direct scripture from the source, the consciousness. He's giving intellectual knowledge of completion to Arjuna in verse 23. Because he was so afraid to take the weapon to start the war, that's why Krishna had to tell him that, hey, even all this does not destroy their soul. So that was the first truth that he gave to Arjuna about the nature of the soul. Next slide. So now I'm continuing with the part 2 of this chapter with verse 27. Okay. So now Krishna said, indeed, death is certain for the born and birth is certain for the dead. Therefore, you should not grieve over the inevitable. You say, come on, people go through the cycle of birth and death. Why are you grieving? You're just dropping the clothes and then again take another birth. So he said, this is something that is so certain. As long as you take a birth, you're certainly going to die. It's just like, we all know this fact. But why are you grieving over this thing that is inevitable, that is going to happen? So he's questioning Arjuna, why are you behaving like you don't know this truth? Next slide. So then he said, oh Bharata, being intangible in the beginning, being intangible again in their end, seemingly intangible in the middle, what are we grieving about? So again, he pointed that question back to Arjuna. Why are you grieving about when this is going to happen? That is going to be the most certain outcome for every birth that we take. So, which of course Krishna is, giving him the truth that because he was just so afraid to kill, right? So now he's telling him, this is the truth. Why are you so grieving about, right? Next slide. So he said, one sees it as a wonder, another speaks of it as a wonder, another hears of it as a wonder. Yet, having heard, none understand it all. He's talking about death, okay? Everyone feels that death is a wonder. And another one speaks of it as a wonder. Think that, that is such amazing, it's like something so unknown. And another one hears it as a wonder. So all these talks about death, whether it's seeing it, hearing it, speaking about it, yet having all heard about it, none understand it at all. It means what? There is still a large part of humanity do not understand the mystery or the science of death. It's because when they don't understand the science of death, they don't know how to live. Only until you understand the utility value of death, then you know how to live your life in a meaningful way. So that's what this Krishna is trying to tell. Next, he said, "O Bharata, this that dwells in the body of everyone can never be destroyed. Do not grieve for any creature." So he's saying that your soul, which is dwelling in the body, can never be destroyed. So do not grieve for any creature, not for anyone. Everybody continue to exist. Okay, so his first thing he quelled on Arjuna's fear is the fear of death. Okay, so this is the first thing he directly addressed. Next slide. Then he said, you should look at your own responsibility, swadharma. See, Swadharma means what? What you're supposed to fulfill in this birth, your Swadharma. As a Kshatriya, it means a Kshatriya in those days there are the four categories, right? Based on what you do with your consciousness: Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Shudra, right? So that is the Varna, the four Varna. So this Arjuna is born as a Kshatriya, like a protector, a warrior, right? So he said, this is your responsibility, your Swadharma in this birth. There is nothing higher for a Kshatriya than a righteous war. You're meant to go and protect your people, protect your clan, your kingdom, and the land. And you ought not to hesitate. So he's like giving a very strong word now. You are running away from your responsibility as a warrior, as the captain of the war. This should not happen. There's nothing higher than your responsibility. So don't hesitate anymore, he tells Arjuna directly. Next slide. And he said, O Partha, happy indeed are the Kshatriyas who are called to fight in such a battle without seeking. This opens for them the door to heaven. He said, look, people who are coming to serve, to fight a righteous war, okay, to protect the people, to protect the land, to protect Dharma. He said, without even being asked for it. Understand? This war will open for them the door to liberation. He said, do you understand it or not? Don't see that as, oh, that's the end of everything. No, these people who fought for it, because they are protecting the Dharma, they are going to get liberated. Do you understand? Next slide. First, he think, oh, that's so bad, kill is bad. And then he said, hey, relax lah. They are not going to get, they are not dying, and their soul doesn't die. And then plus, they are doing the Swadharma. That means they are doing their responsibility as a Kshatriya. They are only going to get liberated. So next, he said, if you will not fight this righteous war, because this war is about to protect the Dharma, right? Then you will incur sin, having abandoned your own responsibility, your Swadharma, and you will lose your reputation. I say that's even worse, right? That means you will be, I would say, scolded for many generations for causing the fall of their kingdom, right? Pandavas. And you are the one who, because at the critical moment, you throw the arrow away and the bow away, and then you run away. And you will carry the bad name for many, many, many jamas to come. So he said, you cannot run away because you will incur tremendous karma, which is the sin, for not taking the responsibility. Just like what Swamiji say, right? A lot of us are born Hindus, right? Those who are born Hindus or those who are practicing Hindu. He said, for Hindus, one of the DNA is to protect the Dharma, because in the moment you embrace this, Sanatana Dhamma, we have the duty or responsibility to protect the Dharma. When you don't do it, he called it criminally negligent. He said, those people who never protect the Dhamma nor protect the Guru, to protect the whole Sampradaya, right? That's why we are constantly getting attacked for many, many centuries, whether it's from the invaders, from the Muslim, from the Christian missionary. So he said, when you don't protect, this is what happened. They come and take over. So this is like a warning to not just at that point in time, but also relevant to the present time. We need to protect. We need to stand up for the war that is going on, the attack of Sanatana Dhamma. Okay, and when you don't do that, you will incur a lot of karma. That means whereas a lot of people are sick because they never do their duty or responsibility. Understand? Because recently I'm encountering a lot of so-called Indian Hindus. Okay, many of them have abandoned the lifestyle of the original lifestyle of Hindus. Yeah, they have started eating non-veg, they started running behind money, jobs, family. They've forgotten their duty to protect Dharma. And I've seen a lot of them have come back with a lot of health diseases or mental disorder. So many. And they're all asking for help right now. I say, look, when you don't take care, you don't uplift yourself and take the responsibility, then Dharma, how to protect you? Swamiji already said that when you protect Dharma, Dharma naturally protects you. So that is what this verse I feel that we should again mention to remind all the living and practicing born Hindus or who are come to embrace Sanatana Dharma. We should protect our Sanatana Dharma so that we take the responsibility. Okay, next slide. So he said, people too will remember your everlasting dishonor. Even you honor or dishonor, people will remember, okay? And to one who has been honored, dishonor is the worse than death. He said, you have been revered and honored as a warrior. And right now, you're supposed to fight the war, and you want to run away. I said, this is worse than death. Dishonor is worse than death. Where are you going to put your face? How are you going to live your life? You're just going to be destroyed, So Krishna basically give Arjuna the truth. You can't run away. You cannot run away. Give him this ultimate truth, like, how can you run away? Not only you incur sin, not only you get dishonor, all the bad things will come after you. Right? All things, bad things, reputation gone, create a lot of sins, and then, will be scolded for generation to be, next slide. So then the great generals will think that you have withdrawn from the battle because you are a coward. You will be looked down upon by those who had thought much of you, and your heroism is in the past. So he's telling you, whatever you have built up so far, just by you running away, all your generals, people who look up to you now suddenly say that, hey, how come my captain become coward? All run away. And then whatever you built as a reputation, as a past, as a hero, all gone to the drain already, no longer, valid anymore. So he's reminding Arjuna, hey, please think carefully. You don't want to be seen as a coward. Next slide. Say many unspeakable words will be spoken by your enemies, revealing your power. Can there be anything more painful than this? He said, see, all your enemies will speak all these horrible, derogatory words about you, to make you feel that you're powerless, to lessen your power or make you look bad. Can there be anything more painful than this? You say, how can you allow your enemies to speak ill about you, right? Speak negative about you, and whatever you have built up, in the kingdom of Pandavas, right? And at this moment where it's most critical, you cannot allow all this to basically destroy what has been built, right? He said, how can this be more painful? Can there be anything more painful than you allowing this to happen? Okay, so he's again reminding him at different layers of negativity that he needs to not entertain. Next. It says, slain, you will achieve heaven, victorious, and you will enjoy the earth. Okay? Oh, Kuntiya, means son of Kunti, right? Stand up, determined to fight. Again, he gives Arjuna the command. Hey, stand up and start fighting. So that was, after giving all the logical reasons now, he said, do the war, fight the war. Next slide. He said, pleasure and pain, gain or loss, victory or defeat, both extremes, treat them as the same, because they're all coming from the mind, right? Whether you gain or loss, they're all in the external world. We say, Do the battle for the sake of battle, and you shall incur no sin. Understand? This is the part where many people don't understand. Huh? How come? By killing, no sin? Do you understand? Because the war is fought for Dharma, for the protection of the Dharma. That's why whoever gets sacrificed, who die in this war, do not incur any sin. Because Krishna is already speaking, right? He is instigating this war to happen also. Correct? He's the one, he's a charioteer, he's the one leading this part of the leading team to wage this war. So that's why he's telling him, look, do this battle for the sake of the battle, and you shall not incur any sin. So don't worry about that. He's giving him another boost of assurance that, because before that he was talking about all the different reasons why he should drop the war, right? Why he should drop the bow and not fight. First he talked about all these people, how can I kill them? Then he said, fighting in the war is all wrong, etc., etc. So layer by layer, Krishna is giving him the truth. Whatever that he has doubt, whatever he has fear, all layer by layer, he's giving him the right knowledge. Okay? Next slide. Say, Tasva, what has been taught to you concerns the wisdom of Sankhya. Now listen to the wisdom of yoga, Buddhi yoga. He's now, before all he has spoken is Sankhya. That means the truth about the soul. Now, let's look at the wisdom of yoga. Having known this, O Partha, you shall cast off the bonds of action. That means you will be able to understand fully and go into the war. Okay, next slide. So he said, there is no wasted effort or dangerous effect in this path of yoga. Even a little knowledge of this, even a little practice of this Dharma protects and releases one from very great fear. This is the one that Swamiji talked about. He used to recite this one, okay? He said, understand, even with a little knowledge of this truth and a little bit of practice, it can protect and release you from a lot of great fear, a lot of bad things. So at least listen to some of this wisdom of yoga. Okay, next slide. So he said, joy of Kurus on the path of yoga. The intelligence is resolute with a single pointed determination. Thoughts of the irresolute are many, branched and endless. Okay, so this is a bit, he's giving the explanation. Next slide first. So he said, men of little knowledge who are very much attached to the eulogizing the flowery words of Vedas, means people who just speak beautiful about Vedas. He said, don't get too attached to all these beautiful words of Vedas. He said, argue that there is nothing else. These advocates of Vedas look upon and recommend various fruitful actions for elevation to heavenly planets, resulting in higher birth, power, and so forth. Thus, being desirous of sense gratification, opulent life, they say that there's nothing more than this to living. Okay, so see, at that point in time, during that era, okay, so obviously Vedas has been the scriptures that people study, people learn, right? He say, for men of little knowledge, even you have no knowledge, but are very much attached to the words of Vedas, he say, there's nothing else. These advocates of Vedas look upon, recommend various fruitful action for elevation to heavenly planets, okay, resulting in higher birth. He said, once you even have this knowledge, will lead you to a higher birth, powers, and so forth. So it will make you rise up not only in all aspects, but also in terms of your life. Next slide. So those whose minds are attached to sense pleasure, those only think about, how to enjoy it, who are diverted by such teaching, for them, the determination for steady meditation, samadhi, fixed intelligence does not happen. See, he said those consciousness is only vibrating at enjoyment, sense pleasure. They are directed, diverted. That means the energy, the time, effort, everything is diverted to just enjoy themselves. So they don't, instead of doing the meditation, falling to the samadhi, understanding the teaching, they say all this does not happen to these people because the energy, the interest has been diverted to, a spiritual life. Okay, next slide. So he said, "Oh Arjuna, be you above these three gunas, the attributes that the Vedas deal in. Free yourself from the pairs of opposite. Be always in sattva, goodness, free from all thoughts of acquisition, yoga, or preservation, shema. Be established in the self." So this is what Krishna is giving the directive. We say, go beyond the three gunas of rajas, tamas, and sattva. Go beyond. See, in all of us, we have this, because as an embodied soul, we will naturally have these three attributes. Tamas means, downness, lethargy. Whereas rajas means, stimulated, agitator, hyperactive. So they are both extremes. Whereas sattva is in the middle path, whereby you are balanced, harmonious, filled with goodness, right? So this is what he said, free yourself from all the pairs of opposite, whether it's rich or poor. Yeah, the quality of opposite. Don't try to run your life free from this or that. It says center yourself in your, established in the self, which is the truth of who you are. He said, this is what you should be doing. Don't get derailed to this extreme or the other extreme. Be centered in the self, your soul, your being. That's what he's saying. Next slide. That is yoga. He said the Brahmana who is the one based on the four ashramas, right? Basically the four Varna. The Brahmana are the one who actually share the knowledge of enlightenment, right? He said the Brahmana, like the sage who has known the self, has little use for the Vedic scripture, as these are like a pool of water in a place that is already flooded, so overflowing with a great water reservoir. So he's giving an example. He says someone who is already an acquired, Brahmana, who is someone who is already living the truth, has known the self, who had already experienced the self. All the scripture is of no use to them because they're living it already. It's just like, they're overflowing with so much of this knowledge. Giving them any more scripture is not going to be useful. He gave an example of like a pool of water in a place that's already been flooded, so much overflowing with great water reservoir. So he's saying that this is an example for someone who is already known the self. Next slide. You have a right only to work. This is the important part. You have a right only to work, but never the fruits of the action. This is one very, very important verse. Never let the fruit of action be your motive, and never let your attachment be into this inaction. So let's contemplate on this one. So he said, see, when you live a life as an embodied soul, you only have the right to work. It means do the work. Because you cannot control the outcome, the fruits of the action. Because it's not in your jurisdiction, right? Because it's in the hand of the divine, in the hand of the cosmos or existence. So then why should you worry about your expectation of your performance or the end result? Just surrender that. He said, you just do the work, but never let the fruit of the action be your motive. Like you do this, okay, I want to manifest this, and this should be what I have. No, you just do the work, and then let whatever outcome be determined by the free hand of the divine. He said, never let your attachment be to inaction. Even let's say you're attached to this, and you should not be lazy. Inaction means lazy. Don't do at all. See, first, don't have expectation of the end result. Next, don't let your attachment lead you to non-action. Okay, so that is what he gave. You only have the right to do the work. The work is to fight the war. Whatever is the outcome, you cannot dictate, and you should not expect based on what motive you have. So he's telling Arjuna, be a karma yogi, just do the work. Next slide. So this is going to be the last verse for today before we do the contemplation. Okay, so he said, oh Dhananjaya, do your action dropping all attachment to the outcome. Being centered and complete in yoga means established in the self. Be balanced in success or failure. Whether you win the war or you lose the war, just be balanced. Such evenness of the mind, such stability of the mind is yoga. It means not being shaken, not being affected by the external forces in the outer world, but completely established in the yoga of the self. Just watch everything, whatever you do, the action, but don't expect, what outcome you want. Just center yourself in the yoga. It means in that oneness with everything. Just do the work and be established in complete yoga. Okay, so that was what Krishna gave him the wisdom of yoga. All right, so now we're going to do a short contemplation. So any one of you have any questions so far? So we're going to see now Bhagavan, next slide. Now Bhagavan basically is teaching wisdom of yoga. He said there is no wasted effort or dangerous effect in this path of yoga. Even a little knowledge of this, even a little practice of this Dharma protects and releases one from the great fear. So those whose mind are attached to sense pleasure, lordship, who are diverted by such teaching for them, the determination for steady meditation, samadhi, fixed intelligence does not happen. So Krishna referred to that truth here. Do not be carried away by the apparent ritualistic approach of the Vedas as propounded by half-learned scholars. He said a lot of half-learned scholars, right? They just perform the rituals part, but without having the full understanding. Say, go beyond the three attributes, the three guna, right? And seek the firm truth of the infinite, the union, which is the oneness with the source. He said the union, that is yoga. He tells Arjuna. Next slide. See, there is something beyond the superficial understanding, Krishna said, that will take you beyond the three human attributes of sattva, calmness, rajas, active action, and tamas, passive inaction, and into the liberation arising from true understanding, arising out of true understanding. He said, go beyond all these three. At that stage, you will be beyond creation, preservation, and destruction, as these would have no meaning in the understanding of the permanence of the ultimate energy. So that's why he said, when you raise your frequency to the self, which is the source itself, you go beyond the three gunas. You also go beyond creation, preservation, and destruction. Okay, the Trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. Beyond all these three forces. Because there is no meaning anymore. Because you know that you're that source, you can understand the permanence of the ultimate energy, being the source. Next slide. So Krishna is leading Arjuna step by step, as if teaching a baby to walk, because he collapsed in the first chapter. So now Bhagavan Sri Krishna is lifting him up again with the true knowledge, and again guiding him to start moving forward step by step. So one by one, the master demolishes Arjuna's conflicting patterns, all the arguments that he cited in chapter 1 and the fears that he expressed. So he's dispelling his dilemma. Hey, this is not valid, this is not valid. So one by one, he's just say the patterns and wrong understanding, all started to break it down for him. So these first baby steps address Arjuna's intellect, that means his mind, right? For that, all Arjuna has been using till now. Krishna knows Arjuna how meaningless his intellectual knowledge is. But it is all borrowed with no experiential backing. He just, basically, Arjuna just regurgitated what he heard from his teachers, what he heard from others. So he just vomited all the poison that he received from all of them. And Krishna allowed him to express whatever he's carrying inside, all the impurities. So these are all borrowed, he said, which have no experiential backing. He now leads him into the experiential knowledge. He now takes him to the next level after cleaning him up. Okay, next slide. So Krishna's reply in verse number 47, which he said, you have a right only to work, but never to the fruit or outcome of action. Never let the fruit of action be your motive. Never let your attachment to, be in inaction. Don't be lazy, don't have expectation of your, what is your action going to be. Next slide. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna defines yoga. He's teaching that yoga is union of man and divine. Yoga is completion with the divine. Yoga is your realization of your own self, which is also the divine. The realization you are divine. So this is what he's talking about. It is the state of completion, the state of truth, the state of the present, when all that you do will be in the righteous consciousness, Dharma. See, he said, when you are in yoga, whatever your actions, whatever you will be in the present moment, whatever you do, you will be radiating righteous consciousness, okay? When you perform with this completion, when you're in the space of completion, in the state of yoga, with no expectation, you will do what is right and just. You will simply do all the right thing, all the decision will be right, and best of all, there's no karma. Okay? So that's what he's telling all of us to, hey, raise yourself, be complete with the divine. Don't carry all your patterns and fear and run away. So that is from verse 27 to 48, what Krishna has given to Arjuna. So next slide. So let's take a few minutes to contemplate, okay? Shall we? Whatever verse that resonates within you in today's session, contemplate on that, what Krishna said, okay? And see how it applies in your life, where you are missing. So I'm going to play Mahavakya for a while. Okay? And let's sit. You can wear the I-band if you have the I-band. We're going to sit for at least 7 minutes. Okay? I like all of you to contemplate.
Can take icon?
Yes, please go and take the icon. You have it with you? Okay. So, do you understand what you're supposed to do? Yes? Okay. What stood up? Which verse stood up for all of you? Do you know which one? Which verse stood up for all of you so far for today?
Do it, don't expect.
Yes, exactly. It's like just do the work. Huh? Protect the Dharma. Yes.
This is my first.
Yes, great. This is what happens when we don't protect. That's why we get into all troubles. So all of you, you can wear the IBAN if you want. Otherwise, please sit. You have the IBAN? Okay, you can put on an IBAN now. So I'm going to start.
You all open all your three eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Connect with Bhagavan Sri Krishna.
Nityananda Paramashivoham.
As Arjuna of the modern era right now. Which verse will reverberate within your inner space that is going to fundamentally shift your cognition to stand up to fight the righteous war and protect the Dharma. Relax. You can slowly, very slowly open your eyes. So any message that came from this contemplation, I share first. What I received from this very short 7 minutes contemplation is, whenever we operate from the space of completion, not out of patterns, not out of incompletions, whatever decision or action we take brings no karma, no sin. So a reminder for all of us to again and again get back to the space of completion, unatwa, and take decision from there. So that's what came to me as a contemplation. Anyone want to share? What do you learn from today's contemplation? Any action?
Live with the dharma, follow dharma.
Okay, yes, great. Anyone? Yeah.
I find out this small after everything is there for life.
And then?
We can follow everything. This life will be very beautiful. Everything is there. Maybe 1 hour, half an hour we discuss everything inside of it. We can live every action without attachment. No karma is there. Every action without desire. No karma is there. Actually, for me, in our village, still Brahmin, Kshatriya is there. And I myself Kshatriya.
Yes.
In the small time, I'm not signing. Because our family, that way recognize.
But now you Vaishya, right?
Then inside, I have a fighting attitude. anything see wrong, you don't know, you give me 1 hour, I can join now immediately. This type of energy I have inside.
Oh, this one in your blood?
Yeah, inside you still have this type of determination.
You know, like in some part of India, I heard that the Sikh, right? The Sikh have that in them because they're always protecting.
You know, Sikh religion, how came? 500 years before, when Arabic people attack India,
Correct. Yeah.
Then every Hindu family gave one civilian to Guru Nanak. So he make one group to fight with them.
Yes.
That way they create.
Yeah. So, but you know, like fighting and protecting is like in their DNA from that.
Correct.
Yes.
So now that this thing came change already many. But in Kshatriya no sense. You see, I never fight, but I still have fighting attitude.
Must be in your gotra. Your
DNA.
DNA.
Instead burning, always fight. Anyone against my religion, I go always fight. Actually.
Really?
You send me anywhere, I can fight. You give me any aside. I pray to Shiva, to keep. Really, I tell you my secret. I pray to Shiva. Give me fight.
Shiva's gonna
give me protect my religion. Give me the arms.
Okay. Then you should do more. Okay, what about the rest? Anyone? Let's see anyone from the chat say anything. Okay. What about anything you want to say? No. What about in yourself? Okay. Parvati, Swarupini, you have anything to share from your contemplation, even Govinda?
Yes, during the contemplation, the two of the truths come up in my inner space. The first one is our consciousness cannot be destroyed because we are so easily clutched to the fear of death, right?
Correct.
Yes. And the second one is all the warriors that are fighting in this war. We are actually, Krishna said, is actually lead them to liberation, not death, but liberation. So is from looking into another aspect, not just seeing, they are going to die like that.
Yeah, because when you see from the human eyes or human mind, you think that something's going to be destroyed. But at the cosmic level, it's a different truth altogether, right? They're going to be liberated. They incur no sin, and they're going to, fight a righteous war, which is to protect this whole Dharma for the future generation. That is even bigger than just die, sacrifice a few body. Understand? Like your whole perspective is broadened to, my teacher is going to die. Oh, my cousin is going to die. So you're not so myopic anymore. You look at the whole cosmic larger picture, right? From this truth knowledge, which helps us to make a lot more informed decision. Before that, we only see it like this, that we got frightened, we don't know what to do, we got confused, right? But when he opens all the blinkers, right, that blind us, and then we start seeing the whole thing, then the whole fear get dissolve, and then you start to get ready to fight, right? You feel that you can face it now. You don't have the same dilemma as Arjuna he shouted in the first chapter, right? Okay, great. That's nice sharing, Parvati. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's part 2 of Sankhya Yoga. Next week we'll complete this chapter and move on, the concluding part of the remaining verses, and then we will start chapter 3. Okay, so basically, thank you for all your participation. It is good to, hear different, I would say, resonance after the contemplation. So now, under KailasaSingapore.com, we have this Jnanalaya link, which we have uploaded a few of Swamiji's book. Bhagavad Gita Decoded is one of them. If you want to basically download an e-copy, you're more than happy to just copy this link and just download it. And if you want a physical copy, please, you can reach out to us. We can send you printed hard copy because it's such a thick book. It's at least over 1,000 pages. It is great to have a physical book. That is the best. Having a physical book is the best. Okay, so if you want to have your personalized copy of Bhagavad Gita Decoded, please reach out to us. So continue reading chapter 2 and we'll see you all next week back here. Okay, with that, let's conclude with the Purna Mantra. Give ourselves a bow from within in deep gratitude for whatever we receive from Bhagavan, from Guru. Om Purnamada Purnamitam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sovam Bhagavashi Nityananda Paramashiva Parta Paramastu. Om Nityanandam. Thank you, Nityanandam. See you again soon. Take care. Thank you, Ma Parvati.